One win away from being guaranteed into brackets. What do you think the uncle's going to have? Put it out in the chat. Let's see what we're going to have here in this match between Mentosman and ItsSupercar. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to get the Cane of Burn of this match. And the uncle telling us that he felt like he has done this before. We're going to go ahead and see what's inside the chest. We get 10 arrows, which no real help at the start of this match. So let's go ahead and get these guys to the castle. Go ahead and find out what the uncle has. Interesting timer from ItsSupercar. I feel like I'm at an old school gas station with that timer. All right, survey says we get a cane. But the wrong cane from the one I guessed. It is the Cane of Samaria for the start. This man is concentrating on killing some of the guards, using the fact that he's going to get some magic here to help replenish. And therefore, trying to see if we can't score a bomb drop, trying to maybe help himself out, not having to worry about it later on. ItsSupercar going around with a bunch of strats. Yeah, I'll go ahead and skip ahead because apparently I've been told that I'm behind. So that reminds me to go ahead and refresh my player, and we see how the Cane of Samaria works. And the first chest inside Hyrule Castle turns out to be the Moon Pearl. And seeing both of these runners still trying to kill some of the guards, see if they can score themselves those lucrative bomb drops. So far, nothing from either of these enemies for bombs. We're going to see what the green guard has to drop in the next room. Should be easy. Hit him twice with the block. Get him Supercar missing with the block. So he's going to be out with a little bit of magic here. Should have just fired it, just like what we just saw from Mentosman. And we get the map, the pickup of the key for both of these runners, and it's time to head to the ball and chain guard. Easy strat. Hit him with some pots. Will that guard get in the way? Supercar just trying to gingerly walk around him, and good, he got him to be hit at the right time there. Mentosman is going to go ahead and be the aggressive here, using the blocks, and that actually gets him the big key faster than it works for ItsSupercar. They get a small key out of that chest. Mentosman is going to have to be careful with his health just a little bit here, down to 1 heart, and he's opting not to pick anything up, but should be fine to get to where we can find some hearts underneath the jars. So Mentosman just narrowly above ItsSupercar at this point, as he turns around the corner and heads over towards the final part of the escape. This sound of the beeping here, not really all that much of a problem, because we are going to make it to where the jar is on the top of the steps, at least to get 1 more heart to put out the concerns that we could end up dying. ItsSupercar is going to vary up his route. And the big thing at this point is it looks like he's really trying to get those bombs. Having some issues with the guards here, and that's unfortunate because he's not getting any bomb drops, and he's still trying to kill some of the guards. I'm thinking at this point you need to start seeing if the rats or the ropes are going to help you out, because if there's going to be a bomb drop in this escape, very likely it's going to come from those enemies. So Mentosman, the first one into the sewers. As we get them down here, the ropes if they're bunched together, give you a pretty good opportunity to get some hits on them. Looks like they are dropping some red rupees, green rupees. Maybe they might be part of that money group. We get a potion refill, which is also good to see, but no bombs. So no bombs from either runner at this point. Getting some rupees there is Supercar. He's probably going to try to fish around, and he'll notice the potion drop there as well. He does get that heart container inside the chest, and now we make our way to the final rooms of the sewers. The question mark, will either of these runners get a bomb drop? It does not seem like we have any bomb droppers so far in this escape. And Mentosman's heading to try to kill some of the rats. So guarantee neither of these runners are going to see a 6-minute escape. Mentosman getting another full magic drop in. It's time to see how the rat treats us. And it's this rat over here. Gets him over the corner. It looks like we're fine there, but will we get a bomb drop? No bombs. So it does appear that none of these enemies are in the bomb dropping groups. As we do the continuing searches for bombs, I welcome Brewers fan JP.
Hi Rick, thanks for holding down the fort to start.
Well, you've missed the first 6.5 minutes of this escape, otherwise known as where are the bomb drops?
So did neither runner get to go back into the back of escape here?
Yep, neither runner has gotten any bombs. And watch this be bombs in the sanctuary. Oh, it's a bomb upgrade. So no bombs at all in this escape. They are going to have to come back to find out what these 3 chests have.
Well, I mean, it's got to run away in each runner's mind a little bit, though they don't know that they're fine because the other didn't get to check it either.
Yeah, they're going to think that they've ended up losing some time, especially if there's some good items in the these 3 chests. So Mentosman is going to find out what's on the island, and then he's going to go and buy some bombs. Now, one thing to note, because, we get a map check, and 4, 5, and 6 are our crystals in the light world, 4 in Eastern, 5 Hera, 6 in Desert. So, one thing to note here, if you try to go back into escape, go through the sewers, you're going to get greeted by dark rooms in the sewers because the free light cone, there's bombs from the tree pole.
Oh, man.
One of the things to note, though, is if you end up going back into the sewers after you're done with the escape sequence, you end up having to do dark sewers.
Yeah, so they're going to be hoping to find that power glove here very shortly, hopefully in Kakariko.
Actually, chat's trying to correct me by saying the light cone stays. I thought I heard it the other way around, that the light cone disappears once the rain is gone, but I may be wrong about that. I've never had any reason to try it, though.
I've heard it both ways. So some people swear that it's there if you go back. Some people swear it's not. I feel like I've heard more that the correct is that it does stay, but I don't know for sure. I think it does stay because of logic. Otherwise, it's logically inaccessible.
That's a good point. So we see Mentosman, because of the bomb situation, going to the mini Moldorm cave first, as ItsSupercar makes his way over to Kakariko Village.
Nice use of the cane in there.
And there's some bombs. We're going to laugh every time we see bombs now. We do see also the power glove here in the mini Moldorm cave.
Going to be interesting to see if either of these routes gives either runner a decent advantage. Ooh, and the flippers from Blind. That'll make for some nicer routing coming out, doing the South Shore check here.
Yeah, we'll be wondering what the hobo has, as well as anything else. Mentosman is just going to have to be careful here. Doesn't want to get bodied by a crab because he will end up taking a death at that point. We go ahead and see what's in the Ice Rod Cave, which is interesting to point this out at 10 minutes in. Turns out just to be a piece of heart. So the only thing that is of importance in South Shore turned out to be the power glove.
Which I'm guessing Mentos is going to cash in right away.
You know where he's going now? He's going to the back. They're now in logic for him.
Yep.
We got the light cone or not, he now has a power glove and bombs to go ahead and check these back three. But the question is, what do we have in the back three?
Well, let's see.
We have blue rupee, we have a piece of heart, we have a piece of heart, so nothing major back there. So Mentos is probably feeling a little bit better, just hates the fact that he couldn't get anything out of it. But he's got to feel at this point that his opponent had the same luck in regards to the escape sequence, as Supercar did find a mushroom as well as a sword.
Yep, you also got a bottle so you can check the sick kid who has just a heart container. So, got a mushroom, got some flippers. Nothing. I mean, we got a moon pearl. There's a second bottle. Actually, we're one item away from Darkhold access.
That's a vanilla bottle, by the way.
That is, though vanilla doesn't have a fairy in it.
They just grabbed the wrong bottle from the tavern when he played in the vanilla game.
And we see more bombs.
All right, let's go ahead and see what we have in the race game. If it's going to be anything important to send them through the entire maze, and it turns out to be more vanilla.
You know, Mentosman found out about the 8-bomb triple.
And he's probably got some words to say about that. Words that are not appropriate at 10 o'clock at night on speed gaming.
And not, at least not until we start up speed gaming after dark.
Nah, we don't need it.
Supercar's going to be catching that mushroom right away. Now, I wonder if Supercar is going to save and or do a hard reset if the mushroom yields nothing.
Interesting decision if he decides to do that, because obviously fake powder.
Well, let's see what it yields.
And it yields more bombs. And there's a couple of sword slashes.
So now he's not going to hard reset. Is he going to head up to Zora here? Or he might be going to set up Houlihan. Nope, just going back through the portal.
He's going through the portal, which takes him towards the dam.
So now we're now just getting the retreads of each runner as they go over the locations the other did already.
So at this point, just because these guys are retracing each other's steps, the 5 chests we have available to us at this point, at the very minimum, over towards Eastern, so the 3 over to Rashla, as well as the minimum of 2 that we can get. Over at Eastern, we still have a Gina that's also up for debate as well.
And with the flippers, we also do have the Hobo, the Waterfall, and technically Zora's in Logic too, but we don't have the rupees for that yet.
Yeah, and that's a case where the Houlihan that you were just mentioning may come into play, or they may decide to go farming in particular caves, although the Houlihan would be a whole lot faster. And so to answer the inquiry about the why the routes are so different at this point, you can blame it on one thing: no bombs in escape.
Yep, and that's a rough situation to be in when you don't have those bombs.
So Mentosman ended up varying it and going towards South Shore by way of buying some bombs first, and ItsSupercar just held on to the script and went over towards Kakariko Village.
And ever since they left Escape, they have been greeted by bombs, bombs, and more bombs.
Yeah, 3 poles was some salt, finding 3 bombs in almost every place they're going to. There's some more salt. Mentosman is playing the race game. Will be little unsatisfied when he finds the piece of heart at the end.
All right, so let's see which way Mentosman decides to go coming out of Kakariko.
They're going to be both going towards Sahasrara right at this point. Or not! Mentosman is proving me wrong!
Yeah, he grabbed that
mushroom. He's doing the same thing ItsSupercar did.
Yep, grabbing that mushroom, he's going to go check the witch.
And ItsSupercar is going to be checking the back 3 of Escape.
That's right, he has not come back here.
After we're done doing this, what do these runners do? Does Mentosman, by the way, at this point, decide to continue on the route and head over towards Zora? It's 3 items you can get. Obviously, Zora, you have no rupees to do, but...
Oh, no, he did the hard reset.
The reset. Yep, Mentosman is hard resetting, so he holds on to that mushroom. And that will come into play for one big reason, and as you were talking about it earlier, the hard reset is to allow for fake powdering.
Yep, absolutely. Now, once he has either the mirror or the hammer, he can check the powder location using a small glitch.
Yep, a minor glitch that is called fake powder. It allows you to deplete off your magic, use the Cane of Samaria, and as the issue with no powder or no magic causes that sound tone to ring, you switch on over to the mushroom and you can do a fake powder trick with it. So we know where the green pendant is. We'll see if either of these runners talk to Sahasrara to find out where that is going to be. And we do now have Zora money.
We also got Quake. Don't know if that's needed yet.
So Mentosman did not talk to Sahasrara, and let's see if ItsSupercar does. He does not.
Yeah. Can't blame him. In open mode and standard mode, it's just a quick map check later on to see what it is. I mean, it's in the Dark World, so you can't even get there yet anyway.
And wisely, Mentosman has looked at his map to at least know what's going on before he steps foot into Eastern, so now he knows exactly what's going on, that all 3 Light World dungeons are for crystals.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they get in here. Well, it's either in here, or it's going to be over at Zora. Or it could still be Agina.
Yeah, and we've seen Agina sometimes pay off, so Agina's been a scam sometimes. Heart container item number 1 of a possible 3 in Eastern Palace.
What are your general thoughts about Eastern early? Do you like to make the Eastern play as soon as you finished up those areas, or do you like to hold Eastern until you can full clear it, hopefully?
My thought process in regards to Eastern is I'll head over to Sahasrara. If there's nothing at Sahasrara that gives me progression, then I want to head over to Eastern to see what's inside. And also, it also depends on what Eastern is. Is it a pendant? Is it a crystal? If it's a pendant, that gives me more inspiration to come into here early on.
Interesting. To come in, more inspiration to come in if it's a pendant.
Well, the idea with the pendant is you may not have to come back. Whereas a crystal without the bow, well, you're going to have to make another trip in.
That is a very fair point. Mentosman executes a nice little glitch, or not glitch there, nice little route to only get 2 Staffles to spawn. And the second item is a piece of heart. So that's technically it for the items in logic here, but Mentosman's going to go do a small sequence break to go get the big key to check the big chest.
Yeah, especially since we've got the sword, this is something that would make sense for these caliber of runners. You can use the sword to figure out where you are. You don't necessarily need it. Here, as you can see, Mentosman only used it to take care of the one enemy that's sitting on top of the switch. Otherwise, there's really no reason for him to do so.
Yep. We're seeing ItsSupercar hold out the sword for the Sparkle Trail.
And this just comes down to how familiar you are with these couple of dark rooms. So this here is going to be the big key, guaranteed.
We saw Mentosman do a little bit of a damage boost there to get some invincibility frames to get that switch. So 50-50 shot that this is the third item.
Yeah, if it's not, it's the map. It's the map. The third item is at the Armos Knight. So we know that the last item you need the bow to get. So the next step here, by logic, Agina is going to have something.
Well, not necessarily.
Or Zora is going to have something. Either one of those two locations.
And I think Mentosman's setting up a Houlihan.
So Houlihan is one of those kind of cases where the camera gets put off center here and it doesn't have any idea what to do for you, so it puts you into an error control room.
Yep, so Mentosman will have his rupees. ItsSupercar is going to just start swimming over and gamble on getting 20 rupees on the way, which is probably a safe gamble.
And ItsSupercar is going to go the hobo route first, and we'll see Mentosman go ahead and do the same thing. So ItsSupercar is kind of banking on the idea that he's going to get 20 rupees somewhere in the next 3 item checks.
Which is not a bad gamble because there's, I think, 27 red rupees in the item pool.
Yeah, but we saw how these runners were with bomb drops in Hyrule Castle. You can't expect them to get the rupees that easily. But we do get the hammer, which is your Dark World access.
There we go. And we're going to keep going and see what else is down here.
You might as well, since you've already made this, you started this route. You want to kind of finish what you start, because if you start leaving things behind, you could get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to leave single locations behind that you have to try to route back in later.
So we're going to go ahead and see what are the 2 items at the waterfall. If these 2 runners really wanted to, they could go ahead and see what the free item is going to be when you throw the water in, throw a bottle in, but we're not going to see that. Instead, we're going to see the flute and the mirror in this, which are 2 very nice items. And by the way, that now makes the entire Light World portion of Death Mountain completable.
Yep, absolutely.
Now that's unfortunate for ItsSupercar by the fact that he has yet to get those 20 rupees he needs for Zora money. And there's the 20 rupees right there on the ledge.
I was going to say, the other thing ItsSupercar could try is he's got that boomerang. Let's try to stun one of these Zora and kill it and see what the stun prize is.
Does he have the boomerang? Yes, he does have the boomerang.
That's something that's consistent with each seed. It's randomized with the seed, but if you stun an enemy with a boomerang or a hook shot and then kill it, it'll always drop the same thing.
Oh, it just turns out to be a piece of heart at the Zora. So we're going to see ItsSupercar pretty much loop around here. Grab that 20 rupees, come back around, and probably be a little more saltier by the fact that we had done this in complete lap just to get a piece of heart. So the first stop on our track here for Mentosman in the Dark World is going to be the Hype Cave. 5 items to get, maybe a map check as well. How hype do you think this Hype Cave is going to be?
They just got a ton of stuff, so I'll go 2 of 10.
I'll be generous and give it a 4 out of 10. We'll find out. All right, we start off with everyone's favorite item, bombs. Money, piece of heart, Titan's Mitt, and a heart container. How'd you rate that?
I'd say that's a 5.
Yeah, it was a required item, so we'll give some credit to that. That Titan's Mint does now make all but 4 chests, and a dark end of Death Mountain also now grabbable. Obviously, there's also going to be another one. There's 4+1. Spike Cave's not in logic at this point. Let's go ahead and see what we have over at Stumpy.
With those Titans, but you actually wrote this a lot nicer now. You can go straight up to the Kakariko, and that's a boat.
Ooh, yeah! And now we're just a lamp away from logically having the Palace of Darkness being completable. Not that these runners need that.
Something else. So Supercar went back to Kakariko, activated the flute. I'm guessing we'll go into Dark World from here. Or maybe Death Mountain. Let's see.
It looks like he's going to go to the village of Outcast first.
Yep.
And we have yet to see that map check. But Mentosman is going to go do some digging, where any number between 1 and 30 will yield you the item. And sometimes it's annoying because it could be all the way on the high end of that 1 to 30, and sometimes it could be nice and generous. And this time it's generous by giving you a piece of heart at number 6 on the count.
It's not too bad.
So ItsSupercar comes to the Dark World and we get our map check. Green pendant turns out to be Turtle Rock, red pendant at Mire, blue pendant at Swamp, everything else crystals.
It's a bit of an interesting alignment.
Gotta love that green pendant Turtle Rock, though.
Yeah, I think the runners are probably would not mind not seeing that ice rod.
But this pretty much means that the odds of there being a pedestal required seed have already gone to nearly nothing.
Yeah, just because the requirements on those are so high, it's unlikely that anything that we could use. I mean, yeah, like we got probably the three highest item requirement dungeons as pendants.
Yeah, like really the only thing that could be in the pedestal at this point is if we find out that the boots are required for Desert Palace. That is the only thing at this point, because we already know where the bow is. The fire rod, ice rod are needed for Turtle Rock. Medallions would be required from Mire and Turtle Rock. That takes them out of consideration. And Mentosman has to drop off the chest. He does. He gets half magic for his troubles.
Not bad. Now, Mentosman is not going to go check the bats. He saved that mushroom and has the cane. And he had a perfect opportunity there to go check the bat.
It's interesting, yeah. And now it's even harder to pull it off because you got half magic.
Yeah, I mean, looking through what we need, yeah, I mean, the only thing is boots, potentially. That could be on that pedestal.
And we may not even need the boots for Desert Palace, as ItsSupercar going to continue exploring Skull Wood. So far, this has not been a worthy trip here for ItsSupercar. I haven't seen anything major pop up just yet.
Yep, same.
And I do want to correct something. There is one other thing that could be at the pedestal, but extremely unlikely that it would be required for that purpose.
What would that be?
Sword upgrade.
Very
And
possible.
the
Yeah.
only way that would be required is if the other two swords, or what would get you those other two swords, were behind the tablets.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but it's so remote that it'd be near impossible for it to happen.
It's smaller odds than it being a pedestal required seed.
So the supercar is out of Skull Woods. Gonna go check the ledge over here. Gotta take the long route since you don't have the Titan's mitts or boots.
If only we knew where the mitts were. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we do. This is, though, a good route to know, just in general for the randomizer, because you never know when you need to know that route.
Yeah, and that's something that has come into play with some runners in the past where they didn't realize that you could actually do what ItsSupercar did, get to this lead boot or the Titan's mitts. This time it only...
Yeah, this route's good to know. Also, the other route that's good to know is how to cross into Western Dark World when you start at the pyramid if you don't have the gloves or the hammer. Basically, there's a route where you need the flippers and hook shots, and you can get across to Western Dark World that way.
And the uncle gives us more bombs.
So, plenty of items up here to check. A little surprised... Well, actually, I was going to say a little surprised that they're not going to start finishing Crystal Dungeons, but Mentosman might be up here to do that.
Well, there's one thing that could come into play. There's your hook shot right there, which is good for routing.
And we also just saw the fire rod on top of Spectacle Rock.
And I was about to say that fire rod or lamp would be really nice to have for the Tower of Hera, but, well, that answers that problem.
Unfortunately, that also creates a small possibility here. If Turtle Rock can be opened by Quake, we have Turtle Rock access right now.
I'm going to say that these discoveries that we just had here by Mentosman now makes 2 of the Crystal Dungeons beatable. Or rather, Pendant Dungeons beatable.
That's correct. We can beat Swamp, and we can beat Turtle Rock. Well, actually, technically, we still need Lamp. Actually, no, we can beat Meyer. We can't beat Turtle Rock. Assuming Meyer... We have the pendant for Meyer.
Well, right. You still need lamp.
Interesting. Mentosman is fluting away after finding those items. And Mentosman went right to the Meyer area. Okay. And Mentosman's going into desert. Very interesting. Took that flute and hookshot and went right over here. Did not even finish up the desert or the rest of the mountain checks.
Yeah, he wants to see what's on the ledge. And now he's gonna pop into desert. And this is interesting routing by Mentosman.
And we see the key there. We know the boots are required now.
The dream is still alive, my friends. It's still a slight dream, but it's still a dream.
So, okay, we cannot get into Maya right now. We need Bombos for that.
There's our sword upgrade right there inside that chest. So Thieves Town has one of our sword upgrades.
So that does kill the idea of a sword upgrade on the pedestal. Only...
Well, it still can be a sword upgrade. It's just now no longer going to be required.
That's true.
Checkerboard cave here for Mentosman, and that has 20 rupees.
And he's going to route a Nagina quick, which is a pretty good move. Like, probably the only time you can route this in well. I don't think Supercar is really beyond the sword upgrade. I don't think he's found much in Thieves Town.
Well, we do know that the big chest is going to have its small key. We found 10 arrows at Agena, and Supercar, knowing where his health is standing at this point, has decided to go chase after that fairy because, well, Blind's coming up next.
Yep. Not a hard fight, but you definitely want full health. Especially in green mail, because Blind can do 2 hearts of damage.
So Mentosman ended up floating away from the mountain earlier on, and I'm thinking this was more of a routing type of decision here, more of a trying to figure out what he needs. Now he knows that he needs the boots. Now he knows that in the event that he's got to pop into Misery Mire, that Bombos is required for it. So I think it was just more of a leaving to get some information about this seed.
It's a fair point. Mentosman's doing some nice routing here by using that mirror to help him get through some of these areas a little quicker. Supercar takes down Blind, and Blind just added 20. But that's our first crystal in the seed.
36 minutes in, first crystal down. Mentosman finding a heart container and rupees inside the first 2 chests. Time to go ahead and find out what's in the other 5 here of Paradox Cave.
Well, Small Storm's a little bit of trouble, but you sue them. Yep, and there's the powder.
So, any concerns over fake powder has just blown away.
Yeah, unfortunately, keeping that mushroom won't be an advantage today. Sometimes it can be. We've seen races decided by that fake powder, but not today.
I mean, haven't we already seen a race in this tournament that was decided by fake powder to skip a pedestal required seed?
Very possible. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% familiar with all the races.
Neither am I. I just thought I heard about that. ItsSupercar now going to check the race game. We'll get the piece of heart here, then route over towards Hype Cave. Just an unfortunate effect here of ItsSupercar's routing is that he will... Oh, there's the silver arrows. Is that ItsSupercar will be getting the Titan's Mitt later than he probably wanted to, because he would have loved to be able to route in the Breadsmiths.
Yeah, absolutely. Though that might come back to help him, because if that powder has something, he has a reason to come back over here now.
So Mentosman now going to check the... There's our book. The Hookshot Cave. The book right there. Be in a bottle. And there's some rupees. And so we are still looking for the boots.
Probably get a Turtle Rock check here, and I think Mentosman is thinking about going... No, he's checking the ledge first.
He is. He wants to see what's on it. Finds out that it's just a piece of heart, and he will go ahead and leave. ItsSupercar picking up his bow.
So let's see what Turtle Rock is. It's Quake, and he's going to go in.
Well, I think he's going to open it up. I don't know if he's going to actually step in at this point, but at least he's going to open up the portal. It's such a tough decision to go into Green Pendant Turtle Rock at the 39-minute mark.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough decision. I mean, you definitely can't complete because you don't have Ice Rod. You're technically not in Logic because you don't have a way to get through Laser Bridge. But if there's something here, this could be a big move.
He's going in. Wow.
Yeah, if there's something in here, this is a big move.
It is. Wow. And so far, Mentosman's plays have been paying off this entire seed.
If I'm in his position, I don't want to see that Ice Rod right now.
20 rupees inside the first chest. So there's good news at that front. ItsSupercar going to head on over towards the pyramid.
Yep. gonna do a pyramid check. I wonder if he's gonna make a pod play.
He may at this point now that he found the bow. Mentosman doing the "Let's go" chant by way of the sword crossing over the first of the chambers here at the pyramid. Let's go ahead and see what we find from ItsSupercar. There's our fourth bottle. Small key, big key. Let's go ahead and continue down this path. Who knows? Maybe Green Pendant has something nice.
Well, we can't get the green pendant just yet. Unless we find the ice rod in here.
Plenty of possibilities for it to be at, though. ItsSupercar is going to go find out some information about this seed just the same way as Mentosman did.
See how Mentosman navigates this chain chomp room. Green mail, this could be painful.
Looks like you did it to complete expert ability there. Not a single scratch.
Yep, that was about as good as you can do it.
And just... we are one sword and boots away on Mentoman's side from being in go mode at 41 minutes in. And we know where one of those swords are. It's in Turtle Rock. Not Turtle Rock, Thieves Town.
You are right, because we do not need medallions. We are very close to go mode. It's always surprising when you're kind of this early in the seed and you realize that.
ItsSupercar getting that same news. Bombos in the center chest of Turtle Rock. That's your access to Misery Mire.
Oh. That... well, we still need the lamp for Pedestal to be in logic. Technically, we also do need the lamp for go mode, but I don't think these runners will worry too much about that.
ItsSupercar going to go check Agina. Where does ItsSupercar go from here is going to be an interesting question. Does he make his play up Death Mountain as well?
I mean, it's hard not to at this point, considering how many items you've got access to.
₹20 inside the Mimic Cave.
Mentos is going to head back in. Supercar is fluting. Oh, I think he's going to combine Eastern Pod here.
And he does know that the Armos Knights do have one item. Palace of Darkness having 5 items that we haven't seen yet.
You know, this is a bit of a risk for Mentosman, considering he has a bunch of crystal dungeons he can complete. But this is a dungeon where if he wasn't going to route it in now, it's going to be difficult to route it in later.
Yeah, we get to the dark room portion of this.
I feel like that's a little cheating. I don't know if you can usually see Link right like that. I mean, it really doesn't give you any bit of an advantage, because you still can't see where you're going, though this room is pretty easy to navigate once you know the pattern.
I think you do see yourself on the thing. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I mean, I don't try to remember anytime I have to do Dark Room Turtle Rock. Laser Bridge time.
And he's gonna take the safe. Whoa! He's gonna try to take the safety door.
He's gonna have to take the safety door now, and he's gonna have to be careful. Good decision here to go ahead and freeze up the little beetle thing.
Now he has at least one fairy. I think. Yeah, I think he's only got one fairy.
Yeah, one fairy and a bee in a bottle. He's gonna go ahead and take a. I thought he was gonna take a death at this point.
Well, he can't with that bee.
Ooh,
or the fairy.
Master Sword.
Well, that's probably gonna be tempered for him later.
Which means Mentosman is now just boots away from go mode.
One more chest in Turtle Rock.
Great patience through the lasers. Does not find anything else in here, but that sword is very interesting.
I mean,
we're talking about a sword that it's very unlikely that ItsSupercar is going to even find.
yeah. And I mean, if it comes down to between Master and Tempered Sword later, that could be a big difference. I think Mentosman is now going to come up and finish off Hera. Or actually go into Hera. He hasn't even been in yet.
You know what that also means?
He can check the tablet up here.
He can check the tablet, yeah.
Yeah, he just picked up that book.
Lamp, there it is in Palace of Darkness.
And just bombs on the ether tablet.
That now means that lamp, we are in logic. Palace of Darkness, beatable.
And that would also, for what little it's worth, it would put the pedestal fully in logic too. Well, nope, not yet. Sorry, ice
There's
rod.
the ice rod! Oh!
Okay, now it's fully in logic.
And we keep bringing up the pedestal. The pedestal is required if gotta go fast is the inscription on the text.
I mean, it's such a low chance, but look at what this seed has thrown at you. Now, if you're Mentos, do you go right back to Turtle Rock after this and kill Trinex?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a tough decision to make at this point, although it's a slow walk up the mountain.
I mean, well, I don't know. We haven't been keeping track of item counts. So Trinex either has one or two items, essentially.
I'm trying to think at this point. I'm trying to remember if we saw the map.
Yeah, I am not sure either.
I almost want to say we hadn't seen the map, but I'm not 100% confident, and I don't want to make that determination at this point. But Mentosman is heading over to Moldworm. He's either going to have the final item, or he's going to send Mentosman down to the basement.
Well, ItsSupercar is going to go take on Helmasaur.
All right, Moldworm, are you item number 2, or are we going downstairs?
We're going downstairs.
Yes, we are. ItsSupercar going up against the Helmasaur King. And this is going to be an easier fight for Mentosman, not because of the sword differentials that we're seeing, but it's because Mentosman has silver arrows for this.
Yep, one silver arrow to the jewel, and oh, what? Mentosman is not going to go to Turtle Rock. He's not going to go check the basement. He is out of there.
You know where? I think I know where he's going.
Skull Woods.
He's gonna go
and
to
then go
Skull
check maybe the pedestal. Yeah. You can clear Skull Woods and check that pedestal. And if he sees that Boots inscription, nope, he's
Or
gonna
no.
go to
Thief Zone. I'm trying to figure out Mental Man's routing here. It's definitely interesting. It's been paying off for him, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, well, he'll find the Tempered Sword here. He's not going to find anything else in here, but it is crystal that he has to get.
But this will also prompt him to go up to Skull Woods afterwards.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea to get this out of the way first, because it is 4 chests.
So we are still looking for the boots. The boots are required for the key that is on the torch in Desert Palace. So you need to have the boots in order to beat that dungeon. That's red, but that's a boomerang.
Yeah, so I think if you're Mentosman, you finish this off, then you go into Skull Woods. Maybe, ideally, you might want to check that pedestal just because you know you have full access to it, just to be safe. After that, I probably go to the Eastern Pod combo right afterwards, since you can full clear both of those, and nobody likes to do ice if they don't have to.
Oh, if you have to do ice, you like to do it in go mode.
Yeah, you can get 6 of 7 crystals right now. Last chest in pod, and I don't know if we got anything. Well, we got the lamp in pod, but I don't know if we got anything else.
Lamp is it.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's worthwhile in there. ItsSupercar is going to kill Armos now. That does have an item.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see what they end up having. Is it going to be something important? We don't know. But we do know it's a crystal dungeon that is beatable at this point. There's the Tempered Sword pickup there from Mentosman.
You're looking at the seed, and it's just like you feel like it's been nice to these runners so far. I mean, if you're sitting there as a runner, do you feel like the seed has been nice to you after that start?
No, I'm wondering where the hell those boots are at this point. Like, this seed started off so nice, and it's giving you everything that you need, but you are wondering, you are sitting there going, come on, can you drop the boot so I can go into go mode?
Yeah, go mode double time. Go mode is you can finish the game, and go mode is in I can actually go fast. I think chat's calling you out on your word there, your word choice there, Rick.
Yes, I see that they are.
Another double boss is here, as we see each runner take a different boss.
Yep. But the one we were looking at right now is ItsSupercar, because it's going to give us information we don't know about the sea just yet, and it's a heart container off the Armos Knights.
Alright, so my guess is Mentos will head into Skull Woods. Let's see what Supercar elects to do.
People saying that it's a location, that word I said. Yeah, it's a location in Michigan, I heard.
That I believe is correct, actually.
Yep, and Mentosman is going to be heading up towards Skullwoods now. It's Supercar heading up to Death Mountain. We are going to get a lot of information about this seed really soon. And I believe it's going to come via Mentosman when he checks the inscription on the pedestal. But I've tried to make guesses on what Mentosman has done this entire seed, and I have been 89.3% incorrect.
Well, I mean, you almost have to think about it. Checking that pedestal. Well, I can actually see why you waited to check on the pedestal a little bit, just because coming out of Skullwoods is a little rough. But at the same time, if you find that pedestal and that's the boots, you know you're basically in go mode.
I love that his rupees are at an even 1,000.
They are. Don't get to see nice numbers like that too often.
It's Supercar finding the hook shot, and also just saw where the fire rod turned out to be.
Still has that mirror out. Here's our check.
Here we go. If that inscription says gotta go fast. Oh, he's going back into the portal. That's good move here. He didn't want to move off that spot because then he would have lost his mirror portal, and that would have been a painful walk to have to go back. So we are going to be looking at the inscription of this. If the inscription says gotta go fast, well, we're going to go fast through a whole bunch of dungeons, including pendants. Have a better defense in front of you. That is a shield. It is not a pedestal required seed.
So that's dead for now, though it does not mean the boots can't be in a pedestal or a pendant dungeon.
Marine pendant, Starashula has the boots, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta... That Trinex is kind of looming large right now. Ooh, I'm not sure what his Supercar was trying to do there.
He got bodied by the orbs there. He had these switches in the wrong spot and just got bodied down the hole. So they gave him the how do you do, and now he's got to go back up. By the way, we're going to be going up against Moldor. Yeah, we're going to be going against Moldor on his Supercar screen, but we're going to be going against Mothula here. Tempered Sword makes this an easier fight.
Nice little save there.
Well, it helps that his Supercar is in the right dungeon for that save. Arrow Upgrade is one of the items here in Skullwoods. Did we see the other item in here yet?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out if Mentos decides to turn around and go right back in. Or is he even... Yeah, I don't think he's even been in here yet.
And there he goes, right back inside. Let's see if we can't see the second item in the other chest.
I don't think Mentos has seen it yet because he did check the vanilla big key chest.
So here's his Supercar going up against Mothula, apparently, according to my lips. And no, that's not the item.
So I think the Supercar then must have found the other item. Mentos just hasn't found it yet.
So its Supercar grabs the map. Now, does its Supercar go back in? Remember, Mentosman gambled. Has left that item in the basement.
Yep. This is another potential big moment.
And he is walking away as well. He's thinking about it. He's looking to his right, going to the south, and he has decided that he's not going for it. And now he's going to go grab the hook shot.
I mean, I can't blame these runners for not going for it. And at this point, it can only be one item, as far as we know, that could really change things.
Oh, the bug catching net. That was the second item in Skullwoods. I remember that now.
Alright. I think Mentosman's probably gonna go check the Cape Ledge and go check Graveyard Ledge. And then we'll see where he goes after that. And is Supercar gonna make the Ice Palace play?
ItsSupercar is making the Ice Palace play. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of items it still gets on Death Mountain. Heading this way instead.
I'm just trying to figure out where these boots are. These runners, we as commentators have been one item away from no mode for the past 20 minutes now.
That's about right, yeah. At least 20 minutes we've been in one item away.
All right, let's see what we have. That's item number 1 inside the Ice Palace. It is rupees.
Gonna be a little bit of a walk now before we see the next item. And Mentos is gonna go check Catfish, which we have not seen yet.
Maybe. Yep, he is. All right, as you mentioned, this is something we have not seen yet. So, could this be where the boots turn out to be? So, Catfish, what do you have for us? Money.
And we have more than enough money that we need at this point, so he's not even gonna grab it.
And Mentosman is going to go recorder himself, and he's going to do the Eastern and pod play. And Supercar having some issues with the bomb jump.
Now, at this, almost after the few first failed attempts, I'd almost consider just going back and flipping that switch and just doing it normally, because you do have the cane.
Yeah, now he's just going to fall off the edge, and that causes the death. He's got 2 fairies in a bottle, which is a good thing, but this is not how you really want to use a fairy.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still going at it. At this point, like I said, at this point, I would have just gone back up, hit that switch, and just done this normally.
Finally gets it. He had 9 more bombs remaining, though. So Mentosman is going to be getting the lamp real soon. Does that electrify his thought process about where the boots could be?
Well, at this point, if I'm him, I'm thinking about just clearing out these crystal dungeons. Because if it's in one of those, then I'm in better shape. But yeah, like, I mean, the only crystal dungeon we haven't seen everything in at this point that the boots could be in is ice. I mean, as I remember, we found Bombos in Turtle Rock. What if those boots are in Mire? Yeah, there's so many what ifs right now that you just kind of groan at when you think about.
So you heard that groan from me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you don't, I mean, you almost don't want to even think about it. You almost want to hope they're in Ice Palace so you don't have to, you can have a nice, easy little race here.
I think if it turns out that the boots are inside Ice Palace, that gives ItsSupercar quite the advantage. But if it turns out to be in Mire, that gives Mentosman's the advantage. There's the big key, which is not any new information for us at this point, so we continue to wait.
Yeah, once you get to Eastern Pod and Ice, you gotta start thinking about those pendant dungeons.
And the question is which one does ItsSupercar start to think about first? Does he do the 6 that are over at Swamp? Does he head over towards Dark Death Mountain, which ItsSupercar hasn't been there yet?
And we also still have one-off locations, but those are kind of hard to really route at this point.
Well, that's item number 2. That is a 20 rupee. So, no. And now we might just go find some keys at this point. Might as well spend finding the lamp. There's the map.
Still looking for one more item.
At this rate, it could just very well be at Cold Stare.
I think there's 2 chests left. The big chest and Cold Stare.
That's correct.
Mentosman's continuing through Pod. Still got quite a bit to check.
And don't forget the Mentosman does also have that tempered sword over its Supercar's Master Sword, which Mental Man got over at the Laser Bridge, which, unless the Seed has its Supercar going into Turtle Rock, we're never going to see him pick up the tempered. At least there.
And Cold Stare has their last item.
Yep, Cold Stare will have the final item.
Now, unfortunately, Supercar... Wait, does Supercar have magic?
Well, he's got a problem at this point. And he's not getting any drops, so he's going to go into this room over here to the right.
Yeah, he needs full magic since he doesn't have bombos or half magic.
And therefore he will get it, so he's fine.
Yeah, as long as he does not miss a fire rod shot in this fight. That's another advantage that Mentosman is going to have over Supercar in here, is that he'll have half magic plus a tempered sword for Cold Stare, plus bombos.
Yep. So let's see how that Supercar does against Cold Stare. Remember, he can't miss a shot. He can't get bothered by the ice. Otherwise, he's in trouble. So he gets done with the first stage. Here's comes stage 2. And it's going to be almost impossible, given this setup, to get them into the corner. So at this point, it's just going to be a keep them away from you mode. Because don't forget, we're also on Green Tunic at this point. And there's why we're on Green Tunic. Oh!
Jeez. He has a fairy and he has a red potion.
Yeah, and this may be where you want to use that red potion. That was close. He uses it. He said enough is enough. That came relatively, really close to where it was going to touch me in bad spots. And getting hit there, losing another 4 hearts. None of these are down just yet. 1 down. Going to the spins here. Getting a little bit of momentum, getting bothered by the ice there. He's got 1 hit to give at this point. 1 eye left. Now he's got nothing to give. Oh, that was close.
Okay.
Gets him down.
But
And
just
all for a bomb upgrade.
So that means that our boots are not in any of the accessible crystal dungeons. So we've got... So what we got left? We've got Trinex and Green Pendant. We've got all of Mire. We've got all of Swamp. We have the... Actually, we still have Hera Basement.
Yeah, the 1 item that's left in Hera Basement, but neither of these runners wanted to go grab. So now at Supercar, where are you going to now? We're heading to Kakariko Village, because also remember, ItsSupercar wound up getting the Titan's Mitt after he did the path over to Hype Cave, so therefore he hasn't done the trading sequence with the
Yeah.
Red Smith with the purple chest. And I got a feeling he's going to have a few salty words. Well, he's going to go to Skullwoods too.
Yeah, not bad choice. Just go finish Skullwoods right now.
I'm sure he'll have a few salty words if he gets to the Peg Cave and finds that there. Mentosman finishes off with the Helmassar King. That started to become a little more nerve-wracking of a fight after getting bodied by him a little too much.
Yeah, we have not seen any tunics yet.
They're all in Ganon Sour.
But yeah, this also leaves one other thing that Supercar can check that Mentosman skipped, and that is that powder. There are too many possibilities right now.
Where was that powder?
Oh, wait, no, you're right. Supercar doesn't have the powder
Yeah.
yet. Powder was up on Eastern Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's East Death Mountain.
Yeah, and he decided not to keep the mushroom as well, so he can't fake powder.
Ooh, ItsSupercar decided he was going to try to bottle up that fairy, but, well, it didn't work out.
Yeah, ItsSupercar, again, with no half magic, is gonna have to do a tougher Mothula kill here.
And I do want to point this out one more time. We have been in one item from no mode for the past 30 minutes. And it's been the boots that we've been waiting to see all along. We can tell you where it's not. It's not at the pedestal. That is a shield.
Now, once Supercar kills Mothula, he is going to be out of Crystal Dungeons. But he's also still got Eastern Death Mountain to check. He's got the Smiths to check. He's got a lot of overworld places to check that Mentosman has already checked.
And just to know for our tracker that ItsSupercar has done the Tower of Hera, so we can go ahead and light that one up. So that one has been taken care of. It's just the basement of Hera that has not been explored by either of these runners since Mentosman finishes off with the Armos Knights.
My guess is Mentosman's going to head to Ice next.
Yeah, he's going to continue the path of the Crystal Dungeons. Where does ItsSupercar go? He's got no Crystal Dungeons beatable at this point, and he's going back up the mountain.
Is Mentosman gonna dip Mire?
He's dipping Mire.
So we got Bombos in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, right on the center of the in the big Q chest.
This is another moment that could be big if those if the boots are in Mire. It's a big moment, though. If Supercar follows the path here, he might dip Turtle Rock right now. Which could also lead to another big moment if he kills Trinix.
Yeah, and remember, Trinix is for an item, I believe. Chad was correcting on that assessment, but it's also for the green pendant. Now, the good news for Supercar is he's about to go pick up the silver arrows, too.
Yep, those were in the Super Bunny Cave.
Yes, they were. So, for those who are just joining us here at the 75-minute mark of this race, we are looking for one item. We are looking for boots. That's not boots, that's a key.
And, I mean, at this point in the race, it's literally down to who gets Oh, well, I kind of hate to put it this way. It's literally down to who gets lucky at this point. Who is the one that opens that location that has those boots?
It is all part of what randomizer does. It can come down to a battle of who makes that lucky choice of the two runners.
Here's the silver arrows for its supercar.
We have yet to see one of the two items in this pendant misery mire. And getting that small key tells Mentosman that the big key is going to be in its vanilla home. Five arrow upgrade. That's item number 1.
And its supercar saw Quake. Not going in yet.
Yeah, he's got this hookshot cave to still check. Picks up the book.
I grab also a bottle in here. I believe that was all that we had.
Yeah, the other two were unimportant. As Mentosman waits out the cutscene, he'll get the big key, which is kind of understandable for routing, so that way he can check the two chests on the right-hand side at the same time. ItsSupercar is now making the walk, and this is the walk not... I don't know if it's going to be going back into Hera. This could just be a spike cave check.
He's mirroring. I think he's going back into Hera.
This could be just a spike cave check. This could be a going back into Hera. This could be a book check. It could be any of those three. And there's the 3 bombs for its supercar. Does he go back into Hera, or does he just go straight to Spike?
He's going into Hera.
He's going into the basement. There we go. Compass for Mentosman.
Mentosman finds a second item, he'll just warp out because he knows he doesn't have to clear this.
Yep, we know that it's a shield upgrade at the pedestal. Map Ovidi. Vitreous will have the second item.
Supercar gets his coffee break.
This is a nervous coffee break at an hour 17 in.
I probably don't want coffee if you're that nervous at this point. You probably want something a little more calming. Tea break, maybe?
Only if you're Crystal Soen.
I'd do the tea break.
Okay, we know this is for an item. But what item is it for? What does Supercar get out of these 4 torches?
Oh,
it's red, but it's a rupee.
So that officially clears out the crystal dungeons we can go to. And his supercar is not doing Spike Cave, he's heading east.
Wow. And the thing is, we haven't found any safeties just yet, but the amount of parts and the fairy in the bottle, this could easily have been a check that either of these runners could make. And Supercar is going to be checking Spiral Cave at this point. One of the people in chat saying that one of the commentators sounds like a baseball commentator. Then they read the names.
Don't you do some sports stuff though, Rick?
Yeah. Silver Arrow's Vitreous fight. Our container pickup for its supercar. Vidi has the ether medallion. We know that's not required. So Misery Mire is bust.
That leaves 6 chests in Swamp, as well as Green Pendant. It leaves 1 on Trinex. It leaves what? We got Powder. We've got the Bombos tablets. Man. And Supercar's buying potions. He might be thinking Turtle Rock.
And that's exactly where he's going. Is exactly where he is going at this point. He's going to go all the way. So that sword difference that we had mentioned earlier is going to be washed out by the time that ItsSupercar is done.
It's worth noting. It's worth noting, though, that technically Turtle Rock's not in logic because we don't have a way to get through Laser Bridge. It's a small note, but still, it's worth noting. Which is really weird. We have not seen either the cane or the cape.
And we know that he wouldn't have the mirror shield for that because the mirror shield would end up being on the pedestal regardless over the other two. Well, I can't say that. I mean, there's no way you would have the mirror shield for Turtle Rock because the shield upgrade is on the pedestal.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a shield upgrade for Turtle Rock for sure.
Mentosman is going to be... If Mentosman full clears Ice Palace, I think that will give Mentosman an advantage, but it all depends on what Trinex has. It all depends on what Sahasrara has.
There's been a lot of gambling by these runners. So far, neither runner's made a gamble that's hurt them, but we still have gambles that we have not had resolved yet.
We've been 1 item away from no mode for half of this seed.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how version 29 just seems to go. It's like, oh, here's everything but 1 item you need for go mode within the first 40 minutes.
Good luck finding it!
Yeah, exactly. Good luck finding it. All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, and mind you, we're getting to that point where the runners are going to start really getting anxious about this search for boots.
Oh, yeah, if they're not anxious already. Unfortunately, there's not much new to talk about at this point because both of these runners are going over places the other's been.
Well, there's plenty to talk about. I mean, right now it's Supercars. He's getting ready to go on these lovely little rides on these platforms. Could be thinking, what would my mother like for Mother's Day?
Yeah, you got to figure that out pretty quick. Just for any of those of you in chat who aren't aware, Mother's Day is on Sunday. Make sure you have something figured out for that.
What am I going to do this weekend? Isn't it a nice day for a nice little ride in the middle of Turtle Rock?
Nice ride through Turtle Rock. I don't know how scenic that is. It seems like you're just looking at rock walls and then... Well, actually, to be fair, tours of caves can be very nice, especially if you get some really nice rock formations.
We could be talking about the hockey game that wrapped up. Sorry if you're the fan of that team that's in the Southeast.
Which game was that?
Washington, Tampa Bay, Game 1.
I was thinking of something else.
We could be talking about the weather. I mean, doesn't everybody love talking about the weather?
Well, it's been 40 and rainy here all day.
These runners probably are wishing that we talk about something else at this point in time, because why not? Like, for instance, ItsSupercar picking up the bombos out of here and is probably thinking, oh god, please don't send me to Misery Mire.
Yeah, that's about how you feel at this point in the seed when you're begging for that one item for go mode, and instead you get an item for a pendant dungeon.
Ooh, Mentosman messed up on the blocks, couldn't get the clip. We'll be happy to find that final item on Code Stair, but he's going to try to go back upstairs at this point.
Except he can't unless he does another loop. And he's going to do a loop. That's going to cost him some time.
Yeah, he's going to have to do the loop. He's already been through this before. ItsSupercar checking Mimic Cave. Okay, so Mentosman wanted us to talk about this. Probably doesn't want us talking about this. Laying down some bombs in angry fashion, killing off those slimy things.
Yeah, ItsSupercar is getting close to Laser Bridge, and we're getting close to something we have not seen yet.
It's Mentosman ends up. Here's take 2. This time we get it, and there's your key.
Yeah, you're probably not happy after going through that and getting a key.
We're going to be talking about what these runners are thinking also in regards to where their other opponent is at this point. What if they check this other dungeon first? They already must have the boots at this point. They're about ready to that done.
That's another possibility. Like, oh,
but I hope he's got the ferry. I think he's still got the ferry. Yes, he does.
he does. Okay.
Let's not get bodied by Coaster anymore. This is going to wreck him as far as trying to get them onto the corner, which that's extremely unfortunate. But he's going to have to be careful now. No more cotton candy hugs.
Oh.
Mentosman is on tilt at this point in time because of what just happened with regards to the big chest.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a bit on tilt at this point. And he's not going to be any happier about what he gets right there.
But what does he do next?
It's either overworld or swamp at this point.
And if he decides to check that basement chest in Hera, that's going to give time back to ItsSupercar. But I don't see him going all the way back up the mountain for that. Safety door there for ItsSupercar. And just getting hit by the lasers. Gonna have to be careful. He does get the tempered sword, and there's the death for ItsSupercar. Does he still have that fairy in a bottle? Yes.
Yep.
Not really the way you wanted to use it, but...
So yeah, Mentosman's coming back up here. I think he's going for Turtle Rock.
Oh my goodness. Really? Wow!
ItsSupercar takes a death, but does have the safety door, so... can come right back in. If Trinex has those boots, and these two runners clear Trinex around the same time, this is a race.
Yeah, but Supercar is going to end up getting to Trinex much faster. Mentosman's still got to make his way through the entire dungeon again. So it's going to be a matter of a couple of minutes at this point. And there's no guarantee that they're here either.
We still have overworld locations. We still have swamp.
And you know, at the 90-minute mark, you are getting nervous. You're getting extremely nervous at this point in time. The whole fact that, where are these boots? I want to be in go mode.
So Trinex essentially has 2 items here.
One immediate, one you have to come back up the mountain to find out. That tempered sword is going to help your fight against him, except for Supercar does not switch over the fire rod in time. So he's got to deal with some ice on the floor. Can't take too many hits from the from anything in this boss fight. Runners are on green mail at this point, and oh, get him!
I think you got him.
Got him. That is good. You don't want to run out of magic against them. I think he did, as you mentioned before, he did get potions going in, but that would have been a rough spot to have to use one. You would have obviously used it in that spot.
So let's be careful here.
Tackles him down. Do we find the boots on Trinex? No, it was for the map.
But that's still an item. Now, if you're a supercar, I'm guessing you probably go straight. Well, yeah, if you have those potions, you can go check Spike Cave right now.
We trusted you, chat. You led us wrong.
Nope, his supercar is not going to check Spike Cave. He's going to go take that pendant right to Saharsala.
I'm just curious why they're delaying that trip into there. Like, I understand that no cape, no burn-up, but still.
So are we going to see Vanilla Boots?
ItsSupercar would love to see Vanilla Boots at this point. Here we go. Does Saharsala have the boots? No, it's red, but it's red rupee.
So Turtle Rock beyond that sword upgrade was a complete bust. And Supercar is going to go use that for Meyer.
Oh no! Oh, that's leading him in the wrong direction. We know it's wrong. Supercar may think it's right.
Meanwhile, Mentosman is on Trinex.
Having some issues here against the heads. Thankfully, he's got half magic for this, but it's just a rough fight here, getting bodied here and getting trampled by the ice. These runners don't want to go into Swamp Palace. And it's looking more.
Oh, half be careful.
Heart. Oh, got him. That was as tight as could be. And there, have your map, have your green pendant, enjoy your walk off the mountain.
Another moment. Does Mentos had to check Spike Cave?
Does Mentos check Hera basement?
Nope, he's gonna flute away.
There's the angry sword slashes. He's gonna cash in the green pendant. That is not what he's gonna want to see coming off the mountain. We know this is not a pedestal required. See, that was for a shield upgrade. In fact, it's for the first shield. We know where the other shield is. It's in the lumberjack tree.
And the chat brings up an interesting point. Mentos knows this isn't a pedestal seed. Supercard never. I don't think Supercard ever checked the pedestal because he didn't have book when he finished Skull Woods.
Interesting point, but they still got to go into swamp at some point.
And I think Mentos is finally going to go into swamp.
If it's not in swamp, what does this do for us?
Now, he might go check the Bombos tablet first.
You know, the worst thing is, we could still find a shovel somewhere.
We could. We have the shovel pending and the powder fetch quest still pending too, technically.
Yeah, well, neither of these runners have checked that powder fetch quest.
At this point, I feel like ItsSupercar is more likely to check it because he still hasn't done any of that stuff in that area.
Yeah, he hasn't done the trading sequence. Okay, let's see what the Bombos tablet is. Is that 4 boots falling down from the sky? It is not. There's our first tunic upgrade.
At an hour and 35 minutes. Yeah, that's our first tunic upgrade.
We are still looking for boots. A small key is on the torch in desert. We know that the boots are not on the pedestal.
We're at this point approaching an hour into the seed, being those boots away from no mode.
Supercar's gonna have to be careful. Getting bodied by the Wizrob's not necessarily good for his health at this point. Welcome to Swamp Palace. 6 items inside. Are boots one of those 6?
The odds are really in the favor because I think there's less than 6 overworld spots we can check.
Well, in Mentosman's case, Hera, Spike Cave. Trying to think of what else he's got left behind at this point.
Yeah, Hera, Spike Cave, Powder.
Yeah, that's right, powder.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. Have not seen an item in here yet. The first chest was the big key.
So Supercar now finding the map. We are heading over towards Vitreous. We'll be very disappointed to find out that this is not where you need to be to beat this game.
If I'm at Supercar after this, I'm likely gonna go do that trading sequence of the Smiths and everything before going into the swamp.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Has ItsSupercar checked Catfish?
Yeah, Supercar did, or did Mentosman check Catfish?
I think Mentosman did. Bomb upgrade, first item. And this is going to be going to Argus. There's the other mail upgrade. They're right side by side. Not necessarily side by side, but they're close to each other.
Yep.
Well, that's item number 2 of 6.
Four left in here.
Red mail may be for cowards, but after some of the near-death experiences we've seen in this seed, they're going to take this red mail and run with it. Well, walk with it until we find the boots. There they are! And at 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 10 seconds, Mentosman8 is the first of these 2 to be in...
Go mode.
Run mode. Get to desert. Get that key off the torch. And get yourself to Ganon's tower. So both of these runners holding off on going into swamp has sent them on nearly an hour-long search for these boots.
At this point, it's literally Mentos just has to kill Land Molas and then head to GT. And Supercar is heading straight for Swamp 2.
Yeah. Supercar is going to be happy to find out that this is the right move, but he's now sitting probably 2 minutes behind, if not even that. I mean, maybe even more than that at this point. Behind Mentosman at this point.
Oh yeah, Mentos had to come over here to get the big key.
And there is the big key, so Mentosman can head immediately to the Land Molas.
I mean, at this point for your Mentos, man, you need nothing else to finish the seed. Maybe you want to go pick up a potion, but that's about it.
Yeah, and right now it comes down to your nerves, because an hour and 41 minutes in, when you've double tracked the Turtle Rock, when you had to go into Turtle Rock twice, you went through Misery Mario. It came up empty. You cannot be feeling good at this point. And you know when you're in a 3-1 match that your opponent is no slouch at this game. That you may be sitting there getting ready to face off against these Land Molas, and ItsSupercar may be facing off against Land Molas as well, but in a different building.
Yeah, this is the part of the seed where it's rough to be a runner, because you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what your opponent did. You just start thinking your opponent did everything correctly.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. There's the shovel. Wow, that's a nice place for that. Okay, game, you're funny. You're really, really funny. But that's the whole thing about this, is that you could make that gamble. You could easily make that. You could think your opponent went to swamp early. Your opponent went to swamp early, got everything he needed for go mode, and he's about ready to go to Aghanim 2, if not Ganon. All right, guys, time to do something. First fan JP, tell him what we're guessing.
Well, there are 22 chests in Ganon's tower, and one of those chests has the big key that they need to climb to the top of it. So get your guesses in chat right now. 1 to 22, where do you think that big key is? If you are a subscriber to one of the Speed Gaming networks, or have donated 250 bits or more, you are eligible to be entered into the leaderboard.
And we do thank everybody for their support here at the Speed Gaming channels, whether you're a subscriber to any of the channels or any of the bit donators. But it is never required, never begged for, always appreciated though. But just a nice way of saying thank you to the people who do help us out with Speed Gaming. With that being said, I'm going to say that my guess for this big key is going to be number 14. What do you think it's going to be?
I usually guess number 15.
Number 15. Okay, we'll see if we are going to be correct. And as normal is the case for these guessing games, we're going to do it based on the first runner to go in, and that will be in the order that Mentosman gets these chests.
And unfortunately for Supercar, it looks like he's going to go check the left side first.
And that's just going to give Mentosman a little extra breathing room on this run. All right, here we go. So, JP, tell us what are in chest number 1 and 2.
All right, chest number 1, we've got the big key.
And a small key to the left of that. If you guess number 1, you are our winner.
Yeah, perfect alignment in that room.
Nobody guessed 1 that was a supporter of the game. The closest without going over was 2 by Pippo Cheerio.
So many guesses in chat, and nobody guessed 1?
And you know, a big key that early might make Mentos even more worried about where he is in this run.
Yeah. You almost wanted to see it on the left or right side. Just because it might make you feel like you have a little bit more of a chance.
Chat is telling me that my 2 is close without going over, and they're correcting me on that. I must correct myself in that case. The closest is 2, regardless of whether or not they went over. Mentosman could really use that fairy, but doesn't grab it.
Yeah, I think that's just his nerves speaking. He's nervous that his opponent's almost done.
Yeah. And he's got to be careful, though. He does have the powder, so he can use it on the anti-fairy here to help restore his health.
Doesn't get the 1 cycle on Land Molas. But there's the 2. ItsSupercar is going to head downstairs. He's about to get his boots.
By the way, if you burn me at the stake, who's supposed to admin this tournament? I mean, there's Willard, but we always blame him for everything.
Yeah, don't take Rick away from us, please.
It is Supercar picking up the boots right now, going into go mode, and there we go. About 5 minutes after Mentosman went into go mode, though.
As Supercar is going towards deserts, Mentosman is on the 6th floor of Ganon's tower.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't need anything else. He's not checking chests.
Yeah, he could use a little bit better bomb throwing experience, but he does get it on the 2nd try. And the only thing that could help Mentosman out at this point would be Butter Sword, but that's such a limited upgrade, all things considering. And we are getting a hovering attempt, and it failed.
I don't know if that was just more nerve speaking, or if I'm not sure if he how well. I don't know him well enough to know if he knows hovering pretty well.
Oh, he knows how to hover. And I'm surprised he's even thinking about doing it in this situation, given how the seed is going at this point.
Yeah, I mean, hovering is a time save if you get it on your first attempt. But you gotta be pretty confident to get it on your first attempt.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate, but yeah, it could very well be nerves that messed up with the timing, and that is a tough skill to pull off because of how perfect you got to be with your frame inputs. This is a bad setup here on the first cycle. Getting a double is pretty nice. This is a little more favorable, but only gets a single. This one's also a decent setup, but we get a blue ball, so that it gets only a single. So we're at 4 on our count so far. This should be doing it, though. There's the 6.
Nervous pacing as Ganon heads out.
Where's that done? How is my opponent not done, given how the seed played out? I double dipped Turtle Rock. How am I about to win this, perhaps? Those are things that could be going through Mentosman's mind at this point. Supercar having a little issue with the Lamolas. And let's see how this Ganon fight turns out. 12 total hits per cycle. And we see Mentosman going quickly to the sword, gets him into cycle 2 immediately. Did he get him to stage 3? I believe so. There he is. And it's Supercar just about ready to head up to the mountain now to tackle Ganon, but by the time he gets up there, Mentosman will be done with this. Did you find the arrows in the Dark World? Certainly. Here you go. Here's one of the 4 that I can fire at you at this point. Gets him stuck here on the bottom right-hand corner. Gets 2 hits on him. There's 3. Can we get him in the corner before the torch goes out? Yes, we can. That's beautiful for Mentosman, and Mentosman will win this race to improve to 4-1. 1 win away from an automatic berth into the brackets. And the official speedracing.tv time for Mentosman8, 1:51:04. A indeed.
So yeah, what that race really just came down to, as we mentioned earlier, is who found those boots first.
And with that, we do hear the sound of Mentosman coming on in. GG.
Thanks. Thank you. I don't know what happened.
So, my first question to you is, where do you think your opponent is?
I don't know. I kind of figured that I had lost the very moment I cleared Meyer for nothing, but I would have to assume maybe like TR?
He just went into Ganon's tower at this point, and he pretty much did the same thing as you, just in a different order, where he did fully clear Turtle Rock, fully cleared Misery Mire before getting to Swamp.
That makes sense.
So the next question I have to ask for you is, what happened to your nerves when you found the big key in the very first chest in Ganon's tower? Did it make your nerves get worse?
Yes and no. On one side, it made it, go time. On the other hand, knowing that I was not behind by Key Search and Ganon meant that if I wasn't already done, I was very close. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a confidence boost of I still have a chance.
Very good point. Yeah. So, what parts of the seed would you wish you had back, and what did you feel you did well in this seed?
The only things I wish I had back are both connected, which are I wish I had done the smart thing and gone to Hera before going into TR, so I could have just single dipped that and not gone back later. But I feel like in terms of just stuff I skipped, there were several little one-offs around the world I decided not to go for, and that turned out to work out. I think it was Magic Bat got the powder pretty early, and I kept thinking, boots are probably on Bat. I should go check that. But it's the only thing in that area, so nah.
Yeah, we never saw what the bat yield. Your opponent never checked it for us. Like, there are certain places in the overworld that we were starting to think that it could be until, well, you found them in Mire.
Yeah, found in Swamp.
Or, yeah, Swamp, rather.
I am actually pretty happy with my execution on everything except for the attempt at hovering Moldorm 2 when the nerves hit and I just completely missed the button after the first time trying to tap it.
I will say that was a nerve-wracking fight against Coldstare, though.
Yeah, I knew I had the fairy, so I wasn't too concerned, but I definitely panicked a little bit when I lined up wrong, and as soon as the shell broke, I took that fairy revival. Like, oh, I didn't expect to use you just yet.
Yeah, and that immediately got him out of the pairing there, so you can get him into the corner. And you know, this is just one of those kind of weird seeds. We were in no mode for an hour until you found those boots.
Yep, when I was on Death Mountain, as soon as I got that fire rod, I went straight to Desert to check if it was boot locked or not. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, here goes the next hour.
And lo and behold,
I was actually planning to go into Swamp when I went back to Turtle Rock, but my thought process pretty much went, no, I'm betting that he would probably go into Swamp while he was over here before he went up to T-Rock, so if I have a chance, it's going to be that green pendant. Turns out I had it backwards.
yeah, this is really an interesting case of routing in this game too. It's just sometimes plays lined up, and then in the case you were sent for about an hour trying to figure out what the next play was.
Yeah, I'm not honestly sure why I delayed Swamp quite so long, but was willing to dip Mire. Just based on the 25k seed stats, Mire is a lower chance of progression than Swamp. It also has less chests, so I don't know why I made that bet over the Swamp one.
Might have been the Bombos and Turtle Rock influencing your decision.
I think that's probably the case. Let me get something out of this gamble, but I don't really remember in particular. I just at one point was like, let's go do Mire.
ItsSupercar has opted not to pick up the magic heading into Moldorm 2, which is an interesting decision. Has the potion, so we're not concerned with in regards to the upcoming Ganon fight, but just an interesting decision nonetheless.
So, going back to the beginning of the seed, you get out of escape, you have no bombs, and it looks like it influenced your route a bit. How did not finding bombs in escape change your route?
I kind of vary depending on what I get in escape. Like, South Shore is honestly probably my most common route that I take, because usually I don't have the amount of equipment that I'm like having to go to Kakariko by then. But that being said, it pretty much just made me go straight to the back of escape after South Shore instead of going straight to Kakariko. That was pretty much the main change from it.
Yeah, it was an interesting escape. Both of you did have quite the issue getting bombs from any of the enemies in that dungeon.
I hate that feeling.
Which leads me to believe that none of the enemies in that escape were part of the bomb prize pool.
That's very possible. I just know that I was not feeling great coming out of escape at 6.5 minutes with no bombs. Just, everything that could have gone wrong did, and it's a longer than average escape. This'll be fun.
Nice GG Big Key at 1 out of 22.
Yeah, only a 149 collection rates. I mean, definitely helps the fact that you got the GT Big Key so soon, but still, that seems a bit low.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the fact that 20 items in Ganon's Tower alone were left behind.
Shout out to that key on the left for existing and making that a lot more fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, as Supercar goes up against Ganon, I do want to ask you. You are now 4-1, one win away from making it into the brackets, and you've got 2 weeks in order to get that win. Your thoughts going into week number 6?
Pure, unadulterated terror.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like pretty much anything this week from the 3-1 range up was pretty stacked to begin with, but it's only going to get harder from here on out.
It's races like these which are going to prove the runners who make their way into brackets, that's for sure. Ooh, that was extremely scary there for Supercar. As Ganon formed right on top of, or almost formed right on top of him. Was afraid that that was going to push him down into the pit. It doesn't. He finishes off that fight.
Yep, he finishes that fight off with a lucky 777 rupees too.
And he pops in exactly 10 minutes after Mentosman does, finishing the clock 2:01:04. So while we wait for Supercar to come in and join us, shout outs to our tracker behind the scene, Cassidy Moen. Thank you very much for clicking the buttons and doing the job for us here to make sure that we know exactly which items the runners have and what dungeons have been beaten, all the other things. Work is definitely appreciated around here. And we welcome ItsSupercar. GG to you.
GG.
GG, Super.
So, boots, huh?
Yeah, about those. Literally over an hour of searching almost.
Yeah, for me, what lost it was there was a point, and you probably had this point too, where there was a choice between checking TR or checking Swamp, and I picked TR, which was wrong.
Now, see, I had a choice between checking TR or all the crystal dungeons I could clear, and chose TR, and then found the Ice Rod and Hera a little bit later, and then went back to TR later for the Green Pendant, and Swamp was my last dungeon I could have dipped.
Yeah, this was a interesting case of the not wanting to pop into Swamp. And let me ask you both this question. Since obviously Swamp turned out to be the play, why did both of you decide to put Swamp off as long as you did?
Well, for me, it was just kind of that coin flip. I'm like, okay, TR's got some stuff. It's got 5 chests plus Mimic Cave and a pendant. Swamp has 6 chests. So at that point, it was just a coin flip, and I went with TR. And then in TR, I found the medallion from Meyer. So I thought, well, let's keep going down this path, see if I can justify coming here. And I went to Meyer. So it wasn't necessarily that I was avoiding Swamp. It was just
It was
that one choice led me to other choices that weren't Swamp.
It was the rabbit hole then.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
On my end, it was just because I dipped TR so early, it kind of lined up in a way where I felt like if Swamp had it, I was guessing that Supercar would have been in there already. So I just kind of put it off solely on the metagame, so to speak.
Yeah, there's just really nothing else we can say about this at this point. Try not to listen to our commentary inside Turtle Rock, you'll cringe. So, it's Supercar. You now dropped to 3-2 in this tournament. Obviously, you're not out, but it's going to be a dogfight in the 3-2s to stay alive next week. Your thoughts going into that next week?
I didn't come into this with necessarily the highest expectations, so if I drop another match, I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna take it easy, do my best. I'm not fretting too much either way.
And do you have anything you want to add, JP?
I don't think so. I think you got most of it. I mean, this was a very interesting race. I mean, you guys had like 6 crystals you could clear really early, but yeah, it was just those boosts for both of you. But yeah, it was a really good race to watch.
Well, the seed was definitely bootless until boots. Now, I do want to ask one last question for a supercar. What was your thoughts in Escape when nothing wanted to give you any bomb drops?
I was cranky, but I mean, what can you do? If all you can do is hope for pretty early gloves, and I found them, so didn't let it bother me too much.
As was a good case because neither of you ended up getting any bomb droppers in that escape. It led us to pretty much believe that neither of you were going to even see a single bomb at all during that process. But we'll see how it goes. Week 6 should be very interesting for both of you guys.
Yeah, GG Mentosman, and good luck with your next matches.
Same to you on both fronts. It seems like we both kind of made a lot of the same decisions, so I look forward to watching this back and seeing how that all went down.
For sure.
It's going to be one of those interesting ones to watch back because both of you guys were on such wild tangents for a long time, and then it started getting all together towards the end. All right, that's going to do it for us here. Congratulations to Mentosman8, and we're going to wish both of these runners good luck as we continue on with this tournament with week number 6 of the 7-week Swiss portion of this tournament next week. We'll see how it goes for both of these runners, and hopefully boots will be a whole lot sooner than an hour and 40 minutes in. With that being said, we want to thank the gang over at Speed Gaming. Also, thanks to everyone who came along and joined us for this match. Thanks to Glef, who just subbed with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated here from the Speed Gaming family. So for everybody who's worked behind the scenes and for JP, it's been a lot of fun doing commentary here.
A lot of fun watching this race. A lot of fun working with you.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. More races coming up here on the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. So we thank you for joining us. And have yourself a good night.
Good night.